Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the freaking internet. Yes, we're back. This is the Fat White Knight, as always, and we are back, in fact, right where we left off last time after creating that beautiful circle. And now it is time to flower it, because let me tell you, we need them. You need a lot of flowers around here. We need a lot of different layers. They need to make it look nice and pretty. And it is going to require a copious amount of flowers. Now, in between me actually producing this field and all of that jazz, we have taken a trip out to our flower farm in the swamp. And with that, we are able to get enough flowers so that we can produce a magical flower field of blue over here. It's going to be really nice, and I'm very excited for it. So we're going to get right into it here, start placing our flowers in super fast time-lapse mode. Let's get it. Right, riveting, right? Looking beautiful. We got our first tree in there, and we got all the flowers in place. Now it's time to start building out the trees, because we can't just have a simple flower forest. or flower, whatever you want to call it, flower field over here. We're going to add some trees. We're going to add some rocks. If there were squirrels in Minecraft, I'd add some squirrels in the trees. It'd be great. But obviously there is not, so some rocks, some fallen trees, some regular trees, and we're going to break up how the flower field, I can't say this word for some reason, appears at its whole at this moment. I think it looks really, really good, especially with all the levels and all the little details and trees and stuff that we are slowly adding. I'm thinking probably round about 10 large trees, and then we will follow that up with several small trees, a couple fallen trees, a couple rocks, and that will have to really get the whole feel that this is a forest underway. Because I want it to be messy, right? As it stands right this second, I think it is a little bit too manicured, and we need to change that, because it just doesn't scream forest to me. It screams, hey, you got a nice field there, but it's not messy. And that's what we're going to do. So we're going to keep on keeping on building trees and whatever you may do, just to try to build it out a little bit more than it already is. And each tree, you'll see, will add a level of detail that we are lacking in each of these. So, little by little, block by block, we will freaking get there. And we're going to go right into another time lapse. Alright, we're temporarily done with the trees in this area, which is great news for us. Well, I say temporarily done, but I think I still need to do one or two more. But in these coming clips, you're going to see a lot of villager frustration. We finally take the initiative and move out all of our villagers, our fishermen villagers, from their initial captive that we've had since the very start of this world. And we are going to finally put them in a house. Let me tell you, it has been far too long since these lads have had a proper place to call home. And that is my bad. I did not mean to make it take that freaking long, but it did. And so we'll be moving them into their brand new home. Obviously, not furnished yet, because, we don't do that until the last thing, pretty much, is interior decoration, because it is a pain in the ass, really. So are these trees. But nevertheless, that's what we're going to be doing. And you're going to see just how freaking frustrating some of these villagers are to transport. I took all necessary precautions, or so I thought, and it still ended up taking around about an hour and a half, no joke, to get them in where we needed them to be. That's a long time to move freaking villagers, let me tell you. Let me freaking tell you. But we're going to jump right into a narrated time lapse. And so you'll hear my voice in literally a second. And just as freaking promised, you hear the soft silhouette of my voice cascading through your ear holes as we continue to build the last, or second to last, I can't quite remember, tree of this particular episode. Which is great news bears. And obviously I can't promise that because you guys know me and you know that I did not fully look ahead into what's coming into the episode, only that I know I'm moving the damn villagers because they need to be moved. But we are having a really good feel for this. I think that this is one of my favorite builds. And I know I've said that 100 times for 100 different builds, but I really am enjoying this. I've never made so many large trees like this before, and each one of them is taking a lot of resources, of which I didn't plan from the start, which I kind of like. It's a new and adventurous challenge, so we're kind of having to do two things at the same time and hope for the best, really. So, now is the portion where the villager transportation starts to happen. And let me just tell you right off the freaking bat, it is not going to be an easy thing to deal with. But we got our string duplicator moved, and we have the jail cells ready to go for those precious villagers. Now all that's left is to basically move them where we need to put them, and then with them in the correct spot, we should be easily able to trade with our villagers to get ourselves some emeralds wherever needed. Now, I will say, the layout of this particular structure has screwed me a little bit because we are just not prepared for how things need to go, and it doesn't quite work out in the way that I want it to because they are not easily accessible anymore, and that is a little bit of a problem. For you guys, this was just a few minutes in time, encapsulated forever in this hardcore world. For me, this was one of the most obnoxious endeavors of my freaking Minecraft life. Because we put them in the wrong thing, we had to re-raise it. It was just a lot of freaking hoopla, let me tell you. And I tried using it since its inception here, and I can tell you full-heartedly, the other one was significantly better because everything was laid out in a line, and we didn't really have to worry about it. It was just so easy to do. And now we have to climb up stairs, and it is a whole nother shebang here to try to get the emeralds that we need, that we always need for whatever we got going on. And a lot of the times that is going to be blocks. We are going to need a stupid amount of quartz, of a lot of different blocks, to be completely honest. And it's going to wear on our emerald supply really, really quickly. I can tell you that full heartedly because we need bricks, we need quartz, we need different colors of terracotta, we need colors of glazed terracotta, we need quartz pillars. All of these things you can trade one for one emerald for one of those blocks that we discussed, and quickly you can spend a lot of emeralds. I could spend a full stack of emeralds in no time at all, honestly, because all you have to do, click, 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 done, done, done. You know, and if they happen to have all the same trade that you need, it is even easier to make that happen. So now we're tearing apart our shambles of what we had here so that we can actually start to move on with this project and get things where they actually need to be rather than where they are now. And I think that is a very, very freaking important. So, we'll be right back. Lots of stuff to do. We need to go down. We need to grab ourselves some of these amethyst crystals. Got them all set. Now we need to go and make ourselves a lot of the tinted glass. And we need to tint out this window. I had always planned on being able to see in here and just hadn't gotten to it. But I remembered there was a geode right freaking there, and it has been growing because we've been in the area for quite some time. So that's great freaking news, let me tell you. I finally decided that it is about time to tackle this beast, this behemoth of a build. I've been putting off this church for a long, long time. However, one of my streamer friends, Mr. Rainbow, has recently decided to make a hell nether portal. And while I was watching him, I kind of got the idea of if he's going to have a hell one in his hardcore world, well, I'm going to have a heaven or a light. Dark and light is kind of what I'm playing on here. And we're going to need a lot of freaking obsidian for it because I want to make a big freaking boy portal. And so we're going to do that. Collecting literally every bit of this lava patch here just to get enough obsidian to make our beloved portal. As we fly back, this church is, if you can remember, the very first building that we even like started to detail, right? And it has been many, many, many hours of me just avoiding it because I knew I didn't really have an idea, and I knew it was going to be an absolute pain in the ass to make this what I needed it to be. So, with that new inspiration in mind, that from Mr. Rainbow, we are now making it into a light room or heaven room, whichever you prefer to call it. Both of them are really what I'm going for, and took a lot of designing, placing, breaking, looking at, standing back, getting blocks, all of these different things, all in the same material here. But I feel that a white room, bright in colors, both blues, yellows, and some grays as well, I think will look really, really good here up against the purple of the portal. And if I could change that color, I would, because I would love to have it as a bright, vibrant color instead of that dark hue on the purple. But it is what it is. We'll make it work. So I am doing this what I would call the ethos strategy here. We are building the inside first, and then after we build the inside, I will take it upon myself to build the actual structure that this thing goes in. And we're doing that for a specific reason, because I don't know how big this thing is, and I know that there's a lot of detail that I want to add into it. Roughly 3 layers of intricate placing in front of this portal here is going to give us a weird and kind of unique portal. It's not going to be out of this world, but it is going to be a little bit on the nicer side as far as our portals go. Because lately, let's be honest, I have been slacking. And I know that we're going to need to go to the Nether a lot of freaking times. So because of that, I really want to have something nice to look at, especially because this is our Nether portal. We're only going to have one for this entire village here. So I think it is fitting that we do it justice. And the idea I kind of went with, although yes, it is quote unquote a heaven build, I am thinking more so as Mount Olympus specifically. And I say that because we're going to do some indoor clouds once I get to the ceiling put up in here. And they're going to look really freaking good, I think. With these ceiling clouds, we're going to have kind of lightning striking the ground. We're going to have a nice walkway. It's going to be very well lit in here. And then there will be a little bit of wood showing, kind of. I'm going to do a lot of variations of clouds at different Y levels inside of this particular building. And so you won't really see any of the woodwork up there, but it will obviously be there. And I think how we're going to do that is just seal off the top of it with some kind of quartz blocks or anything like that to make it really stand out and pop. And then we can have something hidden up there if we so needed to. Like if I needed a really small micro farm, we could do that. I don't know for sure that I will do that, but we absolutely could. And so this is the shape we've come up with so far, and I'm really starting to like it. I think it looks really good, and it is a decent amount of detail. The one thing I will change though is these emeralds because they just do not work very well. So we need to put our glazed terracotta in there and then make room for our freaking pathway. Obviously outlined in the vibrant blocks like this, and we need to light it up as well and make it kind of work for us. But I think the purple lighting will look just freaking fine. Lots of detail, lots of work to still do on this, but I am really loving where it is heading. But as always, guys, I really do think that that is going to call it for this episode here. We made a lot of progress. We moved some villagers. We did some terraining, some trees, and now we built our nether portal. So thanks so much for watching, and until next time, ciao.